that time of the week. Let's get back to week 2 predictions for the CDL. Now, first things first, we need to go over week 1 predictions. We need to keep myself accountable so that whenever we look back on, you know, the next future episodes of this prediction series, that we can, you know, be like, okay, is he actually, you know, paying attention? You know, is Six, you know, speaking that bullshit, or is he really, you know, truly locking in and mastering these predictions? Because I don't know about y'all, but I think my overall match winner picks were fire, but I lost so much money on prize picks this weekend. So if you ever find me at a CDL event, never ask me to lock in any like sort of line for prize picks, because I will lose you your money and then you're gonna have to run a fade, and I really don't feel like getting jumped right now. So we're just gonna stick to the match predictions, and then once I start winning more money on prize picks, I'm not sponsored by the way, then I'll start giving my predictions on what the betting odds should be, because Breaking Point actually has betting odds, I think, that are attached to prize picks. They share the same odds, so we'll talk about that once I lock in more on that, because I don't want you guys to lose your money because of my, you know, my mispicks. So we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. The first match that we're going to talk about is the Falcons OpTic Texas match. I predicted a 3-0 OpTic win. Obviously, you know, Falcons, they had a rough first week. Celium was not looking as good as he should be, and Kismet is just looking very uncomfortable. That will be a theme coming up whenever we visit the Falcons LAT match. This one is the first one that I got wrong. I predicted that it was going to be a Ravens 3-1 victory over Boston. Boston won 3-1. So right now we're 1 for 1 on match picks. Boston really just came out swinging on the respawns, and I really underestimated the Boston guys. I apologize, man. I didn't know y'all's game was like that. So Boston, they pick up the win against Ravens, and then it is a LAT 3-1 victory is what I predicted, but they won 3-0. So we're still going to count that as a correct prediction on my part. So I'm 2 for 1 on week 1. Next match we're going to talk about is Toronto versus Miami. Let me scroll up so you can see it. 3-2 is what the actual map result was. I said that this could go to a map 5. Miami loves playing spoiler when it comes to the CDL season, and they took it to a map 5. I wasn't expecting it. I predicted a Toronto 3-0, but I love to be surprised in this case, because I think that Miami camp, no matter how compromised it was at the beginning, I think if they just put their heads down and focus on the future rather than the past, they can be a top 4 team, just like they were in MW3, just like they were in Black Ops 6, if you ask me. That camp has so much potential, so I'm very excited to see how Miami develops moving forward through the season. The next matchup that I predicted was Vancouver Surge versus Gentlemates. I predicted a 3-0 Gentlemates victory. Spot on with that one. You know, there's not really much to say about that matchup. It was just a slaughter. And then we have G2 versus C9. I predicted a G2 3-1 victory against Cloud9, but I did say that Cloud9 could take it to a map 5. I'm very happy to see that Cloud9 is actually willing to, you know, well, not willing, but they were able to fight back. They were able to make it a really gritty series. I love long series like this. I think, I don't know if it was Black Ops 6 or MW3, but one of the recent years, Champs was literally just map 5s. It was insane. So I hope that we get to see more map 5s instead of just 3-0s and 3-1s. It'll keep things more interesting going through the season. So going on to Sunday, we have Falcons versus LAT. I predicted a Falcons loss to LAT winning 3-1. That is the stat line that we see on Breaking Point. However, I thought that Falcons was going to win through Search and Destroy. They actually won the Scar Hardpoint map 1, which really threw me for a fucking loop, because I'm going to go ahead and let you guys know how annoying my picks were. I picked an XNID maps 1 through 3 kill count under. The amount was 44 kills, because in that first series, XNID, while he wasn't getting shit on, he wasn't doing the best. It was like the edge of getting shit on. So I put a under for the 44 kills through maps 1 through 3, because I thought it was just going to be a stoppage. This man XNID pops 39 map 1. So, you know, that's what I'm saying. Don't listen to me on my picks until I'm able to lock down and really understand how each player plays this game, because that is just absurd. Everyone in Zuma's stream on the OpTic Watch Party, they were shocked because XNID turned up. I'm really happy to see XNID turning up, because I think we need more international, you know, coverage. I think we need more international players coming in and showing like, hey, this is not just an NA dominated esport. Even me being American, even me being in NA, I love seeing British players come over and just be at the top of their game. Paco Hydra on LAT, he's one of the best players in the game, and he's I believe not French but Algerian. So I love seeing international players get that spotlight, being able to pop off and show like, hey, no, we can compete too. So I was correct on that. LAT 3-1, though I did get what mode they were going to win wrong, but we're still going to count that as a dub. And then we have Gentlemates versus FaZe. I thought this would go 3-1. It actually went to a map 5, but I'm not surprised it went to a map 5. FaZe are able to just barely squeak it out. I'm very, very curious on what changed between the first day and the third day with that FaZe camp. I don't know if maybe they watched VOD and things were a little bit different. I predicted a Gentlemates 3-1. FaZe came up and upset me, so I got that one wrong. That's whatever. And then we have OpTic versus G2. I predicted a 3-2. I thought this was gonna go map 5. It did not, but I did get the winner correct. So I'm gonna put a count somewhere up in the video where it will show like, hey, like this is how much he got correct, this is how much he didn't. And then that tracker will just keep going through this series as we move on with the season. But let's go ahead. I'm going to keep this video short and sweet because I've had a very long day and I want to get this out before Thursday. So at the time of recording is Wednesday. You guys might see this Wednesday night. Well, not might, you will see it Wednesday night, but whatever. We're going to go ahead and bust through this really quick. Friday, we have Falcons versus Carolina. Honestly, I think this goes to map 5. I think this will be Falcons' first win. I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and say this will be Falcons' first win. There is potential. I think Falcons, they're able to beat LAT on hardpoint. We know this. We've seen it. You can go back and watch week 1, Sunday, first match of the day. I think that Falcons has potential. I think that Ravens, after seeing them play Boston, there is potential, but I don't think they've sorted out how everyone's supposed to play on the map. I don't think there's a lot of chem in that camp yet. So I think Falcons, I think they take this through a dirty Neslo. I think they win the search, the control, and then the game 5 search. So I'm going to say Falcons 3-2 against Ravens. Moving on to G2 versus Boston. I don't know. Boston, they surprised me. So I can't really underestimate how good this Boston team could be. And G2, I thought they were going to put up more of a fight against OpTic. And obviously, if we look at the stat line, 3-1 right up here. If you look above my head, it was a 3-1. I didn't know that my face cam was blocking that. I'm so sorry. But I don't think G2 really lived up to the standard that I put them on when it came to that OpTic series on Sunday. So I'm going to say I'm going to hope that this goes to map 5, but I think Boston win this. I think Boston wins this. I'm going to say 3-2 Boston. For this matchup, just because they just absolutely blew Surge out of the water last week, and I think that they're going to carry that momentum into the next series of matches. And then the final match for Friday is Surge versus Toronto. I see Toronto winning this 3-1. Surge, I think they have a lot of work to do. They need to build up that chem just like Carolina does. They need to build up those reps, and they need to, they need to really feel out the rest of the competition, because I don't know if these two have played against each other yet. At least outside of like the 75k Monster Invitational. So I'm going to say Toronto 3-1. We're just going to keep it quick and simple. I think Toronto knows how to play the game. I think Vancouver, they have potential, but they still need to set up, that foundation before they can actually steal a series from one of these, better teams. Move on to Saturday. We have Gentlemates versus LAT. This one is going to be a fun match. You have Dan Ghosty and Envoy, who got dropped from Thieves, going up against their former teammates of Scrap and Hydra. I'm very excited to see if there's any shit talk after the game. I want to say this will be a Gentlemates 3-2. I'm thinking a lot of game 5s this week. I think that there's going to be a lot of game 5s. I'm thinking a Gentlemates 3-2 victory, and I expect a lot of shit talk from Dan Ghosty specifically. And I'm very much looking forward to that, because I love Ghosty as a player. He's phenomenal, and I think him and Scrap having, maybe not beef, but like a friendly rivalry about like, oh yeah, maybe you shouldn't have dropped me. I think that's going to be a very good storyline going into Major 1. And then we have OpTic versus Miami. Miami have notoriously in CDL history been known as the OpTic Reapers. For some reason, these motherfuckers are able to beat OpTic no matter what team they have, no matter what roster Miami is fielding. they are able to sneak a win out no matter what. This has been the case since, I believe, Cold War, when they were still Florida Mutineers. It is insane how this is the only team that I can really see upsetting OpTic. However, I think this will be an OpTic 3-1. So I will add, I will not be too shocked if Miami is the first team to beat OpTic. I will not be shocked at all, but I don't see it happening yet. So I'm going to go ahead and do 3-1 for OpTic versus Miami. And then the last match for Saturday is Surge versus Cloud9. Like I said, Cloud9, they were able to go to map 5 last week, like I thought they would. Or not like I thought, but I hope they would. I think that Cloud9, this will probably be their first win. I think, unfortunately, Surge, I don't see them beating Cloud9, especially after the performance I saw last week. I just think Cloud9, they're going to come into this week swinging hard, and I think that Cloud9 will win this one 3-2. And then Sunday, we have Falcons versus Breach to start us off. I'm going to say Boston 3-1. Would not be surprised if it goes to map 2. I think at this point, if Falcons are able to win on Saturday, they'll be going into Sunday with a little more confidence. I think if they're able to figure out how to make Kismet more comfortable in his role, then this Falcons team will actually be a lot better than what people have been seeing and talking about recently. But I think Boston, just from seeing how they played last week going into this week, I think that, they're not going to be sweating this matchup too much. I see a Boston 3-1 for this one. And then we have Miami versus Cloud9. I think Miami will probably take this to a map 5. I think that Miami will win the respawns, like both hard points, but I think Cloud9, they'll probably try and Neslo. But then I'm hoping for round 11 on this one. I really love map 5 round 11, unless your favorite team is the one losing round 11, in which case it's heartbreaking. But I think Miami, Cloud9 go to game 5. I think Miami win 3-2. And then final match for Sunday is Toronto versus FaZe. FaZe, they surprised the hell out of me this past weekend, and I think that they're going to be going, again, it's a common phrase I've been using this whole video. They're going to come into this week with a little more confidence, and I think this also goes to a game 5. I'm going to go and stand on business to say that this is going to be a game 5 centric weekend, and if I'm wrong next week, okay, cool, we'll talk about it. But next week there's actually not matches, because I just realized that it says that the next set of matches are January 9th, because Christmas. My dumbass forgot about Christmas. I don't think I've listened to any Christmas music this whole month. I gotta change that. But those are my predictions for week 2. This is a little bit more of a shorter video, or I think it's actually about the same amount, but regardless, I try to keep it quick. We didn't really go over analysis much, because there's not really much to analyze in terms of, stat lines, because we tried to do that last week, and the teams that we thought were going to lose didn't lose. So we didn't have a perfect sweep. We were wrong on map counts and stuff like that, but overall, I think our picks were good for last week, and I'm excited to see how they turn out when we revisit this on we'll probably do it the week of CDL matches for week 3. So we'll have a Christmas break, and then we'll come back to this. But let me know what you guys are predicting in the comments below. I really appreciate the support on the previous video talking about predictions. I really appreciate people wanting to watch, this specific type of content, because I love competitive Call of Duty. This is my whole thing, and as long as you guys are enjoying it, I'll keep pushing it out. So let me know who you guys have in the comments below. Let me know what matches you're excited for. I know I'm personally excited for that Miami Cloud9 matchup. I think that's going to be phenomenal. But other than that, I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night, depending on when you're watching this, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Later.